stupid, dumb, useless. Those are all labels we as viewers have thrown at some anime characters. I mean, why not? Aren't they supposed to be that? Like a comic relief? Something to pull our attention away from all the pain and sadness happening around them? Well, yeah and no. Because here's what anime does that nobody talks about. It makes you laugh at a character so hard and for so long that you forget they were always capable. And the moment they stop playing around, you realize the joke was never them. It was you for underestimating them. Let's start with an OG, Jiraiya the Perv. I mean, yeah, this chapter's title says it all. He's a weird, creepy, goofy old pervert. That's it. That's all I thought of him. The author gave us proof he was strong and a legend, but the perv image was the main thing until that motherfucker pulled up in that rainy village. Oh lord. And here's the thing people miss about Jiraiya. He watched his best friend turn evil. He watched his student die. He raised Naruto knowing that kid might become the world's greatest weapon. That is a heavy life. Most of us would lose our shit if stuff like this happened to us in real life. So yeah, he peeked at bathhouses and told bad jokes and acted like nothing mattered. Because the alternative was letting all that weight crush him. The Rain Village fight didn't reveal a new Jiraiya. It revealed the one that was always there underneath the act. And that hits different because we the audience bought the act completely. And you know what is messed up? We didn't appreciate him until he was gone. That is the part that stings the most. While he was alive, he was content. While he was writing his books and being a creep, he was a joke. But the second he died, suddenly everyone had a Jiraiya quote in their bio. Suddenly he was everyone's favorite character. Suddenly the useless pervert was the greatest mentor in anime history. And that says something about us, not him. We do the same thing in real life, don't we? We ignore the people who show up for us every day because they don't do it in a dramatic, flashy way. And then, when they are gone, we realize they were the foundation the whole time. Jiraiya was the foundation. Every lesson Naruto ever learned came back to something that old man said or did. And we missed it because he delivered those lessons between bad jokes and bathhouse peeping. The packaging fooled us. And by the time we unwrapped what was really inside, it was too late. Alright, now let's talk about the king of stupid. And I mean that literally, because this man is trying to become the pirate king and he can barely count. Luffy is the kind of guy who picks a fight with a whole army because one soldier hurt someone who fed him. The kind of guy who tries to recruit a tree into his crew. Yeah, that happened. The kind of guy who sees his crew starving on open water and eats all the remaining food himself and then has the audacity to ask why everyone is mad. He's genuinely, clinically, beautifully stupid, and I love him for it. But here's what the author does with that stupidity that most writers would never attempt. He makes it the point, not a flaw, not something Luffy needs to grow out of. His stupidity is his philosophy, and his philosophy is the most dangerous thing in the entire world of One Piece. Because Luffy doesn't think in systems. He doesn't understand politics, hierarchies, power structures, none of that. And that is exactly why he keeps breaking all of them. Think about it. The world government has spent 800 years building a system that keeps everyone in line. Celestial dragons sit at the top, Marines enforce the rules, everyone knows their place, and then this rubber idiot with a straw hat walks in and just doesn't care. Not because he's rebelling, not because he has some master plan to tear the system down. He just genuinely does not register that the system exists. And you can't control someone who doesn't even acknowledge your authority. That is not stupidity. That is freedom in its purest, most terrifying form. And Oda told us this from the start. Luffy's own words. I don't want to conquer anything. I just think the guy with the most freedom in this whole ocean is the Pirate King. That is it. That is the whole character. No revenge plot, no tragic motivation to dominate the world, just a kid who wants to be free and will throw hands with literally anyone standing in the way of that. God, government, emperor, doesn't matter. You block his freedom or his friend's freedom, you're getting hit. Simple as that. And that's where the switch happens, because dumb Luffy and locked-in Luffy aren't two different people. That's what most people get wrong. It is the same brain, the same worldview. Luffy doesn't suddenly become smart when he gets serious. He just applies that stupidly simple worldview with zero hesitation and zero mercy. You hurt my friend, so I'm gonna beat you. That is it. No inner monologue, no strategic breakdown, no weighting the odds. And that simplicity is what makes every lock-in moment hit like a truck. Any slobby. Robin's given up. She believes she's a burden, that everyone close to her dies. Tens of thousands of soldiers stand between her and freedom. Any smart person would strategize. Luffy tells Sogeking to shoot down the world government flag, the one symbol nobody's supposed to touch. Not because he understands the politics, because Robins is crying, and that's all his brain needs. Then he yells across the gap for her to say she wants to live. Not "we will save you." He puts it on her, and when she screams "I want to live," that is all Luffy needs to hear. Sabaody. A celestial dragon shoots Hachi. Everyone knows what touching a celestial dragon costs. An admiral shows up. Your crew is pretty much finished. Everyone does the math. Luffy doesn't. He just punches the shit out of the guy's face. No hesitation. No calculation. Someone hurt his friend, fist goes forward. Every viewer wanted to throw that punch. Only the dumbest character in the room actually did. Marineford is where the laughing stops. Luffy fights through admirals and warlords to save Ace, and it is still not enough. Ace dies in his arms. For the first time, the dumbass breaks completely. His whole identity was "I will protect my friends." When that fails, it totally destroys him. But he doesn't get a revenge arc. He doesn't get darker. He trains for 2 years, not to become someone new, but a stronger version of the same idiot. Post time skip, he's still dumb, still picks fights for no reason. But now the weight behind that simplicity is terrifying. Kaido beats him 3 times, he keeps coming back, and that persistence eventually awakens Gear 5, the power of Nika, the warrior of liberation, the stupidest looking power-up in anime history, and it is perfect. Because of course freedom looks like a cartoon, the world tried to be serious, he made it silly, and the silly won. So yeah, Luffy is stupid. But his stupidity is a rejection of every system built to trap people. He's not dumb because he can't understand the world. He's dumb because he refuses to. That refusal is why people follow him. Not the strongest, not the smartest, the freest. And in a world full of chains, the free dumbass is the most dangerous person alive. Now it's time to talk about the honored one himself, Gojo Satoru. I mean, what can I say? He is strong. He is pretty strong. In fact, you can argue he is the strongest. But he rarely acts like it. This brother is out here either rage baiting someone or being a clown. He shows up to serious meetings making fun of his colleagues. He mocks elders who've been in power before he was even born. He teases his own students literally all the time. And if you only watch the surface, you'd think this man doesn't take anything seriously. That he's just a pretty face with too much power and not enough maturity to handle it. But here's what's really happening underneath all of that. Gojo Satoru is the loneliest character in the entire series, and it is not even close. See, the thing about being born the strongest is that nobody can stand next to you. People can admire you, fear you, respect you, even love you. But to relate to you? Understand what it feels like to be you? Nobody. You're standing at the top of the mountain that only has a room for one. And everyone you care about is so far below that you can barely hear them anymore. And Gojo had exactly one person who came close. Geto Suguru, his best friend, the only person in the world who could keep up, who understood the weight,
who made Gojo feel like maybe being the strongest didn't mean being alone. They trained together, fought together, carried missions together. For a brief moment in his life, Gojo Satoru had an equal, and then he lost him. Not to death, that might have been easier. He lost Geto to ideology. Imagine that, the one person who made you feel human just walks away, and you're strong enough to stop them, but you know stopping them isn't the same as saving them. So you let them go, and now you're back on that mountain, alone, for good this time. And what does Gojo do with all of that? Does he get dark? Does he shut down? Does he isolate himself and become the cold, distant legend everyone expects the strongest to be? No. He starts goofing off. He annoys the hell out of his students. He does that silly little wave. He turns every serious moment into something lighter because if he acted the way he's being justified, nobody would want to be around him. His goofiness isn't a flaw. It is a bridge. It is the only thing keeping him connected to the people he's trying to protect. And the wildest parts? It works. Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, they don't treat him like a god. They treat him like an annoying big brother. They roll their eyes at him. They talk back to him. They forget how strong he is because he never reminds them. And that is exactly what he wants. He would rather be disrespected and close than worshipped and distant. Because he already knows what distance feels like. He lived it. And then Shibuya happened. For a moment, Gojo showed everyone exactly what locked in Gojo looks like. No teasing, no playful smirk, just pure overwhelming power applied with precision that made the most dangerous curses in existence look like warm-up practice. Domain expansion, unlimited void, activated for 0.2 seconds, because that's all he needed, 0.2 seconds. But it still wasn't enough, because the plan was never to beat him in power. It was to beat him in heart. They brought out Geto's body, the one person Gojo never fully let go of, and in that half second of hesitation, that tiny crack in the armor where the loneliness still lived, they sealed him. The prison realm swallowed him whole, the strongest sorcerer in history. Yeah, I said that shit. Taken down by grief he never processed, by loneliness he never resolved, by one wound that all those jokes and smiles were trying to cover up. And when his students found out, when the news spread that Gojo was sealed, that is when the whole world felt what he had been carrying. Because suddenly, every silly moment made sense. Every dumb joke was a lifeline. Every goofy interaction was him saying, "I love you all, and I don't know how to say that without smiling." The clown was gone, and the world immediately fell apart without him. That is the thing about people who smile the most. They are not smiling because everything is fine. They are smiling because they already know what happens when they stop. So yeah, 3 characters, 3 different flavors of stupid. A pervert who hid a legend behind bad jokes. A rubber idiot whose simplicity broke entire systems. And a god who used goofiness as the only bridge between him and the people he loved. Different shows, same lesson. The ones we laugh at the hardest are usually carrying the most. So the next time you see that one goofy character doing something dumb, don't skip the scene. Don't roll your eyes. Because one day, they're gonna lock in. And when they do, you're gonna wish you had been paying attention the whole time.